school. We'll see that day.
The Russian Mafia is an adjunct of the Russian government.
I've described it as going from organized crime under the Soviets to disorganized crime under Yeltsin to organized crime again under Putin.
Those networks recycle back to Mr. Putin's inner circle, and they continue to help maintain Mr. Putin's power.
To the point where today Putin may well be the wealthiest man on the face of the planet.
How does Russia launder money into America?
Everything I know that's interesting, I can't tell you. Now, let me try to think of a way to go at 30,000 feet. Yeah, I know where you're going with this, because I know we're going to talk about Trump in a few minutes.
In the 70s. Donald Trump is a scion of one of the biggest landowners along the East Coast.
He played Monopoly, yes indeed. More than Monopoly, he played with building blocks. Always with building blocks.
He has huge ambitions, huge ego, as we know.
Because not everybody is meant to be a business person. They'll ruin their lives. I mean, they'll go and they'll put up their house and they'll mortgage their cars and everything else they own.
And he is starting to move into Manhattan.
Trump Tower was structured in a way that made it a money laundering paradise.
Trump Tower became one of the first buildings in New York where shell companies could buy and sell condos without identifying yourself.
If you go back to the 80s, Senator Henry Scoop Jackson got a bill through Congress allowing the immigration of Soviet Jews to the United States at a time when immigration had been highly restricted.
We'll honor the right of a person to leave a country freely and return freely, just as clear as anything can be.
The Russians saw it as an opportunity to open their jails. That's when you see members of Russian organized crime come to the United States for the very, very first time and end up in Brighton Beach.
There were certain techniques for money management and money movement that were prized above others. And these involved real estate.
It started off simply as money laundering, pure as simple, and you had in 1984, for example, David Bogadin, who was a Russian mobster, met with Trump. Trump Tower had just opened the previous year, and Bogadin, who had no legal way of making that money, sat down with Trump and bought 5 condos, and the state attorney general ruled that that was money laundering. Vyacheslav Ivankov, who was very close to the great mastermind of organized crime, Semyon Mogilevich, and he was sent to the United States to oversee the rise of the Brighton Beach Mafia. And when the feds were looking for him, they looked all over, and they couldn't find him anywhere in Brooklyn. Instead, he was living in Trump Tower.